And we're back with Freya's Feathers and RainyDayGamer. Hi, how's it going? Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Talk about before I get. But hey,
First, most importantly, chat, say hi to Hazel. This is my cat.
yes, had a Allie. They'll be accompanying us for this opponent. Briefly there, I want to touch on before we pick the run. First off, for tech, I'll be counting down the timer. So starting on quest launch. Second, this is Monster Hunter World all required monsters. Sorry, this is Monster Hunter World Iceborne all required monsters. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing all of them back to back in a gauntlet style, just blasting through. This run's gonna be a little different than what you guys have seen today, which is gonna be Micah's fault. Line gates. Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't talking to microphone. A little nervous. Has all like your traditional run, which is gonna have RNG manipulation, have mitigation. Things are gonna go wrong, and we're gonna have to handle it. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up. Secondly, Rainy and I are running longsword and bow. Is that better? We good? Am I cutting out? We good? Which are our two favorite weapons. We figured they were flashy and stylish and really cool for the run. They're not the fastest weapons, but they are going to give you a great visual treat along the ride. So, much better? Okay, cool. I'll just talk more into my microphone. Move this. Hang on. Ooh, boom. All right. And we have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to go and ready up. Rainy and I have already eaten a meal and gotten ourselves ready for the first hunt. I'll count down timer for tech and start my own splits as well. So, take a second, breathe. Are you ready, chat? You guys ready for Monster Hunter World Boss Rush?
No pressure.
Is our glorious host ready to rumble?
I'm ready.
All right, awesome. Run begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, first, most important thing, we're going somewhere very cold, so before you do anything, drink your hot chocolate.
Yes.
That's not a joke.
Chat's gonna see it actually immediately. I spawn on top of the monster, which is the first thing we wanted to bring up. But drink your hot chocolate before you engage in combat. Gotta make sure you're all ready to go. And there are 3 different types of spawns. First spawn is the type one that I got, which is a monster spawn. This is actually pretty much perfect. I'm going through a buff rotation right now, but it means that I can kind of just engage the monster at my leisure, and I don't have to run anywhere. Yes, Ruiner will be happening. The second type of spawn is going to be what I call the boonies spawn. It's actually a point of interest spawn, like a rare resource or a great vista for view. And the third spawn is inside of a camp, which is a... If we have to get non-monster spawn, we'd prefer to get a camp spawn than a point of interest spawn usually. And you want to talk a little about how we're locking down Bayo here?
Watch out, I think the landslide might be starting.
Yeah, it rumbled. A landslide. Okay, we're good. So the first thing we're doing is we're kind of using a couple of tools to keep Beatotus locked down. We'll talk a lot more in detail about this as the run progresses, but there'll be a common theme you'll keep seeing, which is crowd control is king. That's going to happen a lot throughout this run, where we have to mitigate RNG by locking the monster down, and we don't actually know the monster's health pool. We don't know how much health they have. I have red bar, if you want to go ahead and ready.
I can't bonk.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pre-trank. You can hit it.
Okay. I got a KO, yeah. And that RNG manipulation is kind of done on the fly. Because we don't know how much health he has, we don't know when he's going to flinch, we don't know when he's going to die, and we don't know how close he is to death, which we have to be really careful about DPSing. Because he is a very small health pool, we're going to have to be careful about that. Really nice.
He's just going all over the place, but he's not touching the traps.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
There he is. Nice. Alright, let's Beatotus. That was literally the first monster in the list, that fast. 2 minutes.
Monsters are going to start easier and they're going to end harder. This is Monster Hunter World Iceborne, so you have to beat the entire base game to be able to unlock any of these monsters, so none of them are, you know, super easy.
Yeah. Theo's a great learning monster because he's got a fairly small health pool and he has a lot of really good tells. But that's going to change very quickly. There's Bombero making a cameo in the next hunt. Alright. Next thing that's really important is, yes, if you kill a monster, it's literally a 40-second time loss for every single monster. No, we're not joking. That's not exaggeration. That's actually second time loss, which, that's insane.
You get 60 seconds after you kill a monster to be able to carve parts off of it to make your armors and stuff. If you capture it, you get those pieces anyways, or it's more complicated than that. But that's the most important thing. You capture it, you save 40 seconds.
And the biggest thing that makes this run kind of interesting, that because we're playing on PC, you're going to notice different load times for my computer and Rainy's computer. The one thing we do, for example, she uses what's called a gourmet voucher, which will let her give us massive food buffs between hunts, which is really cool. But the biggest reason that's important is that while I'm loading in, I'm posting the quest, she's posting up the gourmet voucher, I'm grabbing items, while she's grabbing the quest, I eat while she's grabbing items, and then we set off at the same time, so we don't have to worry so much about loads, which is just a way of mitigating that problem. We're kind of divvying up tasks and that's where you're going to find a lot of free time to save. I spawned in camp. Is Bombero at the Butterbur?
I spotted Butterbur. I think he's at 5.
Okay. Yeah, he's at 5. Okay. I'm hopping to 5. So we can transport to any camp at any time. Bombero likes to roam, so it's very important we pin him down as early as possible. Yeah, he's heading up from Camp 5 north.
North? Okay.
Yep. So with Bombero especially heading up north, I need to get at least this demon drug, which is the item I just took to buff our attack stat, out before I want to engage with him, because I'm going to lose a lot of damage. About kind of wounding and what we're at, getting the.
Sorry, what? Talk about what?
Wounding.
All right. So Clutch Claw introduced a mechanic that is slightly controversial. But essentially, you have a grappling hook which will let you attach to the monster, which will either let you smack the monster in the face, causing them to turn around, attack a part of the body, causing that part of the body to take more damage, and shooting slinger pellets or little slingshot bursts that we find on the ground into the monster's face in order to make him run into a wall, like that.
And making them kiss the wall is a great source of DPS because it's going to give you a knockdown, and it does 2% of their max health and damage, which is just huge. Remember we mentioned at the start of this, CC is king. It's going to be a huge recurring theme throughout this entire run. So, is he going to hit the trap on the way out? He is. Okay, cool. So we're looking to essentially pin down Bombero as much as we can. He's got a fairly big health pool. About, I think it's 35k for Bombero, somewhere in there. One zone or two zone realm. Oh.
That's actually pretty bad RNG. Monsters can wander around the map. They can have flags of where they need to go, what's important for them to do. And this Bombero's just got places to be. He doesn't really want to deal with us.
Yeah, which is actually the worst outcome. You want him to fight. You want him to brawl, because that's free time on damage. I think that both. Is he upstairs? Ow. Get him down. Come on. Ow. Come on, bro.
He's asleep.
Sir, for being aggressive, I'm going to ask you to calm down.
You just keep whacking.
Yep.
I got him.
Oh, that's one. I legit got walked, and Hazel got the trap. Okay. So, we'll talk more about it later, but our palicos, which are the little cat friends you see running alongside us, have different devices. And they can try to put traps down, which is great. Except that sometimes you want to get a bonk or get something else out, and the trap can cancel that. I did catch that. So, the biggest damage attack that I have, and we'll talk more about it during Karachi, is a move called Helmbreaker. You'll see me jump up into the air and do massive anime flash, which has the thunder effect because this is Thunderthon, and I thought it was cool. It's huge damage. Monstrous DPS. And that's going to be the biggest source of my burst damage in this run. We'll talk more about that during one of our better fights, which is Viper Tobi Karachi. I figured I'd introduce this concept now. Nice. Capture. So, it was a little rough. Once we got him locked in, we were sailing.
It's also a good example of how this run can go. He fought us for a little bit, and then he just decided he wanted to leave. So that's just a time loss that you sort of have to take. You can reset on those, or you can just keep going and work on your own individual skills. Because there's only so much you can do for mitigation in this run.
Yeah. Especially because, sometimes monsters get a pattern. We'll talk more about it during Kadachi, which we fondly refer to as zoomies. If you've had a cat, you know what we're talking about. Zoomies, perhaps the biggest time loss in the run, I would say. Right, aside from something we'll talk about later with Brachidios. I'm gonna post the quest. Rainy's gonna go grab the gourmet voucher, which is gonna give us stats. And we're gonna go ahead and pile into Viper Tobi. I think this is your... Talk more about one thing Viper does, we'll bring up during the hunt, which status is. You'll hear us talk about that quite a bit as part of that recurring theme of CC is king. So once we go into this quest, we'll talk a little bit. Anyone have any major questions in the chat while we have a moment to breathe?
I mean, you say we have a moment to breathe, but we really don't, because Viper Tobi Kadachi is a Viper and a Tobi Kadachi. A Tobi Kadachi is a scroll made of electric, legally distinct Pikachu. Please don't sue Nintendo.
And, yeah. It's one of the things about certain monsters in this run is that they will decide that...
He's in the Wolg Cave.
Okay. That's not good.
I can bond him.
Yeah, you're one to engage on him. I gotta take the long way around. Yes, yeah, that is absolutely correct. They'll decide, I don't want to be here anymore, and they'll leave. And there are two ways you can lock them down. You can trap them and inflict some sort of status ailment, i.e. a flinch or a stagger, or like sleep or paralysis, to keep them from leaving. Kind of like with Tobi in particular, kind of a bus shoot. You have no idea how long or how frequently your statuses are going to be occurring, which I believe, Rainy, that's your department for statuses, especially for the bow user.
So Bo has access to a thing in this game called coatings, which allows me to coat my arrows with different status things, different alchemical concoctions that will let me paralyze, tranquilize, or poison enemies. A paralyzed monster will stand still for the duration of the paralysis and take slightly increased damage.
10%, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got the extend. Go ahead. Oh, never mind. Sleep. Is what you think it is.
Monster goes to sleep. First hit they take out of sleep does double damage.
It's double, yeah.
Yeah.
And the biggest reason that's important is that because the monster's in sleep, they can't be enraged, which is huge.
You can't be angry when you're asleep.
Yeah. Which means that the Clutch Claw we mentioned earlier requires the monster to sleep to function with its ability to slam into walls. Well, now it works again because the monster's asleep and they can't really stop you.
Which means you get the first doubled hit of damage, you get the bonk damage, and you get the knockdown afterwards to do damage.
Which is just going back to that theme of crowd control is king, right? There is one other version of this run that we've done, which goes by the Warhammer of philosophy of a dead mob is a CC'd mob. Go ahead.
Keep willing.
Okay.
Got it.
And that run is a little bit different, but this is a much more technical, sort of flashy style of gameplay, which will help you bring it here. Iceborne is super good. If you haven't played it, I highly encourage it. It is between PS4 and I think I have somewhere along the lines of 3,000 hours. And that's just in Iceborne or in Monster Hunter World. Just this one game. That's not even counting the rest of the series, which I am an avid fan of, and I really do encourage people to go play because they're really fun. That is the other attack. It does a lot of 12,000 dragons. Oh.
We both have a super move. She does a weeb anime jumping slash. I do shotgun.
Yeah. 1,000 dragons can do anywhere between, what, 2 to 3,000 damage if you got the right pods?
Depending on the size of the monster and the type of pods, piercing pods will go through the monster and hit them many, many times, and it does the most damage of any type of pod.
Mm.
I've seen it hit for upwards of 6,000 damage in a single burst, so it's pretty effective.
And I'd like to take a second to appreciate how weeb this is. For the cat's benefit, game is very pretty. I'm running it fairly low settings for this, and it's still gorgeous.
I'm running it on very low settings, and it still looks pretty good, I think.
Good. Their PC port has a lot of great mod support as well. If you're looking for colorblind accommodation, it's all there. All right. Yes. Base number is native. So it's really, really good. It's Camp 6. Nice. A little bit about Polomu.
Everyone hates Nightshade Polomu. I love it. It's fluffy, inflatable, fly sleep bat. I want one in real life. That's what you're talking about, right?
I was also referring to the fact that it flies all the time, and that makes hitting it with a sword annoying.
I mean, I just use long range stabbers, so I don't have that problem.
And while we're fighting Polomu, there are two things worth mentioning. It can apply sleep. It frequently does so. There are lots of enemies that can roam around this map and get involved. And I think I want to check back with our lovely host. Do you have any donations?
We don't have any new donations at the moment. Okay. If it's okay, I'd love to talk about PawsYourGame.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome, thanks. PawsYourGame is a 501c3 non-profit animal advocacy group whose mission it is to help raise awareness, funds, and other resources for both private and municipal animal shelters, rescues, and sanctuaries through video game marathons, streaming, and other events such as tournaments and LAN parties hosted by PawsYourGame. Roughly 8 million animals enter American animal shelters per year, and 1.5 million of those animals are killed. By working together, we can take a stand against kill shelters and give our furry friends a second chance of finding a forever home and receiving the care they need.
Yay. It's really cool. This is a super great cause, a super great marathon. There are a bunch of amazing runs to come, so glad to have you guys along for the ride.
Alright, Clav.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Yeah. Clav, could you not? Clav. Sir, this is a chemistry lab, you're being aggressive. He's leaving? Okay. Want to talk about roar types?
Some monsters scream. Some of them have big screams that are very large.
I'm asleep. I did an oopsie. Here. And some of them will scream when they see you, when they engage on you, when they see they've engaged on you, and when they leave. Or
and when they're bored.
when they're bored, yes.
I'm sleeped. I'm sleeped. Up here.
Here. I see you. Yeah, some have screams that actually do damage. Tigrex, I'm looking at you. We'll see Tigrex later on. He's
Angry.
He's angry. That's right. And as a recurring theme this run, again, we're talking CC as king. I'm trying to hit the wounded parts on the monster with the head in this case, which is what we're trying to wound because it's the biggest. I can bring up hit zones loosely. Think of it like this: every monster has an armor value, which we call a hit zone, and every weapon has a damage stat, and every move has a multiplier to that damage. So, like that round slash you see at the very end of the combo hits really, really hard. Oh, there's a super pain. Yeah, he is. So that's called emotion value. It's got a fancy name. I don't know why Capcom decided to call it that, but it. And now when it's trying to hit the head, it's going to do more damage. And it's going to trigger an ability that is important to a Blade Master called Master's Touch. Master's Touch means that if I critical hit, I will not consume what's something called Sharpness, which ranged weapons don't have to worry about, but I do. Sharpness is a flat damage bonus to your weapon. So you'll see me try.
Give me low. Careful.
Oh yeah, I think he's capable. I think. Right. Yes, cool. Awesome. And basically the big thing is maintaining that damage is very important. If I go to what's called blue sharpness, which is currently can see it's the white bar beneath my yellow stamina bar, I lose a ton of DPS. When you're talking about a run that you're trying to kill things quickly is not good. Want to talk about capture threshold?
So, as we said earlier, it is so much faster to capture a monster, not only because the time at the end of the hunt, but it's also somewhere between 10 and 25% of the monster's health pool that you don't have to burn through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, if a monster is inside a trap, which varies between a shock trap or a pitfall trap, and they have 2 tranquilizer bombs on them, then they'll be captured as long as they're within the health range. Some monsters have, some of the more chill guys, like Nightshade Palomo, have a pretty high capture threshold, and some of them refuse to go quietly.
I think Palomo's is 20%, where I think Brachydios is like a 10%.
Brachydios is 15. Seething Basil Geese is the lowest in the game at 8%.
Oh yeah. Run. Find me. There will be a couple monsters that are fine as the base game, but as speedrun they are awful.
Let's do this.
Oral Poke is one of them. A really cool monster. He's a great fight. He's very well balanced, very well designed. He's very pretty. One of my favorite monsters casually. As a speedrunner, no. Terrible. Makes him frustrating as a speedrunner is that he has a nasty tendency to spawn in weird locations and do that. He just did it. He flew away. Okay. Well,
bye.
Bye forever. Play anywhere between 1, 2, and sometimes 4 zones if you add RNG, and you have to walk. Hi,
Keep moving, Tsitsi. Keep moving.
Keep motion, camera. He went up. He went
of
up.
Course
up.
He did.
Camped. Not quite.
No, he's just upstairs.
Yeah. And also he has a nasty habit of in the middle of the fight deciding later, and just departing at speed because it's fun or something.
I mean, he hates being murdered, but it's okay because we're not here to murder him. We're here to save the animals.
Yes, this is to save the animals, except for the Elder Dragons, which they can get bust. They're terrible. So Puke is interesting in the fact that his capture threshold's fairly reasonable. But he likes to not hang out near walls. Just wall bang a lot. It's a big third of the strat is get the monster against the wall and smack their face into it.
Like that.
Yeah, Puke doesn't like walls, which, I mean, fair, right? I wouldn't blame him. But it is frustrating when you're trying to speedrun because he can decide to A, depart at speed, and B, just not. putting on my gauge there. Want to talk a little bit about weapon functions, or while we're here? You dodge and shoot, right?
I was gonna say, I don't know how much there is to talk about in this case.
Well, if chat is interested, I can go on a little bit about longsword. This is my main weapon, and what we'll be seeing for the Tempered Ruiner incentive, which was met, by the way, is this.
Okay, but asking you to talk about longsword is like asking a mathematician to talk about math. it's a lot of it's gonna go over their head. Longsword is powered by weeb powers.
Called a spirit gauge.
You fill up your combo, like you hit it with regular attacks, you finish your spirit combo, and then your gauge goes up one stage for every stage. You do increased damage, and you can spend that gauge to do big moves like the Helmbreaker and the big flashy magic parry.
It is powered by pure weeb. It has 2 parries in the kit, which I tell people the parry timing is when it's most weeb. Go ahead.
Hit it.
And I'm not even joking. It's like 2 or 3 frames after activation. So like, it legitimately is. Where is it the most anime to use your parry? That's where you want to use your parry. You'll see me do that a lot in Nergigante, especially. That ding you just heard was actually a parry. That was one of 3 or 4. Yeah, 3. We've done a lot of damage to him. He's probably gonna be feeling not great here in a moment. Wow. That was a nearly perfect Puke. Holy cow. That was amazing.
Yeah, as the bow, most of my mental energy in this run is to layering my CC so I don't accidentally para a monster while it's falling asleep. I don't actually knock down a monster when it's going to get parried.
Yeah, and both of us are running a setup that gives you a lot of really complementary skills. I have a couple of really big swings and a lot of crowd control. So by using the 2 together, we can lock down a monster and burn them down for massive damage. Like that. That was a perfect Puke.
We have a donation from Bakuta for $2. Thank you so much. They say, Monster Hunter. Had only heard of Monster Hunter from others before Monster Hunter World, and it finally came to PC, and damn did it suck me in. Such a fantastic game. And I must say, it looked amazing.
I only have like 2,000 hours in this game. I think it's alright.
Both of us have inlined this game, and I briefly want to talk about the community before we get into Barryoth too hard, which we'll have some talk about in a moment. But the community is one of the best in gaming. I'm not even being hyperbolic. It legitimately is full of amazing people that really do care about a community, care about the game. They're really, really willing to teach new players, and it's one of those communities that wants you to succeed. Really, really cool. Like, when I started speedrunning Nergigante, they pushed me hard. Really an amazing experience. So if you're on the fence, I can't recommend this game. That good. And on to...
We have another donation. Sorry. Thank you, Caitlin, for the $5 donation. They say, for the babies, Ruina is gonna get it before this rush is over. Love you, ladies.
Thanks, Caitlin. Get it. Hey, Barryoth, why are you in an aggro pattern? Alright, cool, I'm not mad. Yes, Barryoth is definitely a wall for new players, and one thing we wanted to talk about is heartbreaks. Barryoth has these wings here. Now, remember I mentioned I was hitting the head a lot in previous monsters? That's because they don't have either have mechanics that are tied around the head being a location that allows them to do things, or it's the best DPS and we don't need to worry about their mechanic. Barryoth is an exception to that rule. Every wing break is going to slow him down and keep him from being able to use that insane mobility he has access to. I got the wound fire. The biggest thing is doing big damage to those parts, breaking them early, and locking him down. He's gonna start tripping. He's start leaning damage. Like I see that where he's like way overextended, even though he's afraid, which should give him protection to that ability. Now suffering big movement penalties is how we lock him down. If you're a new player and you're struggling, take out the pause. One of the fastest way to burn him down, and then you can focus on burning down that head for the glorious tusk breaks, which will give you the items you need to make his gear. Super fun fight if you know how to pin him down. Very mobile.
He wants me dead.
That's never happened before. I have never seen him do that. And that works for Tigrex as well. We'll talk a bit more about Tigrex as we go in, but I have never seen that move before. Really is a marathon run. All right. And also, once again, we're talking about crowd control being king. We're chaining traps together. Two types of traps really we're using. One is what we call a DPS trap. The other is going to be an actual capture trap. So because Barioth has huge health pool, we're trying to use these traps and flinches and these claw swipes and AOs and everything to get as much damage out as we possibly can while he's still locked down. Wait, okay. I don't have red bar. Go ahead. So, anything can happen in America. Yeah, that's legitimately a never happened before moment. I have not seen that move before, and that was really cool. So yeah, there you go, chat. 3,000 hours into this game, and that's a new move. I've not seen him do that before. Hezu does not make an appearance in the world, though I suspect that World 2 Electric Boogaloo may well have Hezu, and there's some mixed feelings in the community about that. Alright, let's go ahead and send Toby away. Dung Pods. Dung Pods are nicely done, babe. Wow, that was beautiful. Nice capture.
That was a clean Barioth.
That was a minute P Barioth. That is the best Barioth we have ever had by 3 minutes. There you go. A sub 30 Barioth happened here. Wait, Kezu will come back for sure. World 2 Electric Boogaloo. And Barioth makes an awesome mountain. And also in our stories, you can actually ride a Barioth in battle. Amazing as you think it is.
Now, one aspect of our speedrun that definitely needs some a spotlight shown on it is our two furry friends, which is very, fitting for the cause. But each of us has with us a palico, a little cat friend who can use their own gadgets and weapons, and they're adorable and incredibly effective. Her palico, Allie, is carrying an entire orchestra with her. She has a horn that will give us stat buffs, a drum that will give us debuff immunity, and a gong that will just really scare monsters and they'll be flinched all over the place.
Kind of like if someone fired a cannon to wake you up in the morning. It's like, yeah.
Ready?
I do have my pelican with.
And one of the big reasons is, like I said, that horn can give us a 15% or a 15 flat damage increase, as well as immunity to stuns, which is just a big time loss anytime that happens. He is on low. I'm gonna aggro him before he tries to. Actually, no, he's going out.
I forget to add my pelican.
Allie's not with us.
Only in a marathon, folks. And we're still ahead. Let's go. And I have Hazel along. Carrying traps right now?
Mm-hmm. Hazel has with her flashfly traps, which are a plantable flash pod, which will knock monsters out of the air and blind them so that they cannot target their moves specifically. And she also has her own Nargacuga fell asleep. I'm just gonna 1,000 Dragons him. Or not.
You said that as I was mid-air. To bring up slopes and slide attacks. Go with Hazel.
She has Thunder Traps which function identically to how my own Thunder Traps function, so it's just additional traps for us to use. We can use them to capture, which is incredibly helpful. And she has Boombug cages, which are literally just minefields that the monsters don't like standing on. If they stand on 2, then that is a guaranteed flame.
I don't actually want them out there, but I do want the moment of crowd control mentions games. Katsuki. Narga can either he stands in the hallway and dies, or Basement Cat decides he wants to go zoomies everywhere, and it's terrible. There's not much you can do to change that. Aside from, once again, breaking the pause. But on a slope, there are several abilities that are any weapon available to you aren't normally. You probably saw me do an overhead swing where I slid down the slope and flew into the air. That actually will bring me straight to my round slash, which is how I build up my levels of my red beater on the side there. From one attack, and it does a metric truckload of damage. It's a great attack, really high motion value, and only very good. Narga? Oh, that Helmbreaker, if that's 2. We're actually gonna use a slide attack here. Oh, I got the yellow boy, watch out. I got the yellow boy. Yellow boys, I wasn't expecting to explain this right. Are those little frogs there? Yellow boy are little toads that when you break them, they will expel paralysis gas that works on you and the monster. And you can see where that's going. It's kind of a rite of passage for players to be hit by one of those. I don't know why. So it's I called it out as kind of like a panic thing of like, don't get hit by that because they can a massive time loss. Unreal. So Nergigante has a unique enrage mechanic. He ignores pitfall traps when he's unenraged. Oh god. Alright, that connected. I'm generous. The game taketh, the game giveth.
Do you have pods?
Negative.
I see some.
I can get pods though.
I got it.
Okay. I'm going for helm. Now. Landed. Hit.
I don't know, it just happened.
I don't either.
My camera was inside the wall because I was on the monster.
Gonna be close, by the way. I'd imagine he's taking a pretty pounding. So we can just talk about like, is he close? How much damage have we done? That's basically a rough calculation based on knowing the monster, knowing the game. It's one you really don't want to get wrong. Because if you get wrong, it's 40-second time. It's always brutal. We're actually cruising up on item. Based on how much damage we've landed, I'd imagine he's fairly low, and we're gonna have to be fairly careful not to go and burst him down past the threshold here. Gonna be. Narga's very jumpy, also. Why he can just waste time. He can do that.
This way. One more step forward.
Nice.
There we go.
So as monsters get hit by traps, they build a resistance to it. Why? It's good to have backups. So one thing I did there is I used the round slash, put away my sword, and then use that to actually deploy the trap more quickly. It's a little piece of longsword tech. If you have a round slash available to you, use your weapon for something. It's a great little trick. A piece of tech there. Silver One's great. I love Silver One. There's also Sleep. There's also Sleep and Explosive Toads, which talk about Explosive Toads if they happen. They're terrible.
They're great. Have you ever just kicked a frog and there's explosions everywhere?
Love Nerga. Kind of a shame he's not as great in World as he was in other games.
He's really intimidating in the other games, and in this game, he's really just a nuisance because he's a basement cat.
Basement cat. Oh, one other thing that's worth mentioning. The set that I'm running right now, we'll talk about and show the sets once we get to the Elder Dragon Rush, which is towards the end of the. We'll have those on screen when you guys are at the end, where you're able to really see them and take a look at them, because the set that I'm running for this is going to be very different than the set that I'm running Nergigante. That set is a little more defensive, because I usually run a more aggressive set, but I don't want to art. The term for dying in this game is dying, it's hurting, which has little palicos carry you on a little
He's at Arch.
trolley away from the monster, which is super cute. I might do it for the...
If we cart, we're just doing it to show off the cute detail.
Really, that's... Lavinus. Lavinus is one of my problem children. So, Lavinus is notorious having what's called a flinch value. All monsters have them. He has a low flinch value, very easy to flinch out of an attack. As you guys can probably tell, that's a problem I'm running along that requires very specific positioning, not have everything go wrong. Ow, like there. So it's something I have to be careful about. Is
careful.
Okay. Wow, I spaced out there. I have to be very careful about on long swords. I have to not overcommit any big attacks, so I know I'm gonna have a cease fight, or if I like that. Like there is a great place for me to do big damage, because I know he's locked down. I know he can't get undone. Are you serious? He made a liar out of me. Look at that.
It's just a prank.
He has low CC stat thresholds, meaning it's very easy for him to get knocked out of a combo or whatever. Which is ordinarily a great thing, but not when you're trying to help.
I need to kill.
Okay. Ready?
Ready. It was a prank.
Whoop. Oh, come on. I was robbed. Robbed, I say. Robbed blind. Yeah, yes, it is a T-Rex with a sword tail. Yes, it's as awesome. You think it is? Yes, it catches fire. Yes, it's awesome. It's a great monster. What I'm talking about. I mentioned values, and the game's gonna show it. Life is a longsword main. Crap, you can't get flinched out. Alive. Hey. So there we actually got a flinch pod. Yeah. We got a pod flinch followed by an actual hit flinch. Really nice. Guaranteed. Where? No, wait. Buddy. Ow. Friendo. Actually, I'm putting a trap down. Bias it. Lav. Give a donation. Lav. Buddy. Ow. Friendo. Get in the trap. Oh, for... Lav is a petroleum. Decide to waste it's your life, and there's not much you can do. So, that's fun. That was actually a really good early game armor set too. If you guys are playing through Iceborne and you're struggling, I recommend building his set because it's really good. Maximum might is actually pretty decent still early on, and if you want to get to 100% crit, it's absolutely the set to. I'm using the slope there to get a faster. That asleep? On to you.
I got him.
Okay. Okay. You know what?
But
Marathon run.
I'm just he's having a giggle, which you know. Fair.
Come on, plant. Yeah, alright, planted a Helmbreaker. Oh, local wildlife. So Helmbreaker does 7 ticks of damage on the way down. And sometimes local flying wildlife, like that poor guy there, will decide that their life isn't, and they'll just take the hit. I don't know why.
Of all the ways to go out,
That's fair.
being anime is one of the best.
It's a weird thing they do, which means I lose those ticks that could have been applied to Glavenus. Yeah, local wildlife. Also, these claw grabs. Whenever monsters at you kind of see the monster like kind of drooling, going. That actually is a claw grab chance, which will give you a, I believe it's 6 seconds, extended CC whenever you grab onto the monster, which is, again, CC is king. So, right? What?
Just clapping.
Hey. You had a perfect Poke for having one of the worst RNG. Glavenus. Sounds about right. Really? Look, I'm maybe we'll get the tail cut. I doubt it, but try. I have no gauge. Ooh. Actually. Bet you. Yep. Alright, little slow Glavenus, but he gave us rough AI, so we recovered pretty well.
So, with Glavenus, I try very hard not to over CC him, which involves me sheathing my weapons and changing equipment very regularly during the hunt. The armor that I'm running does damage to me the more I use it. And if I sheath my weapon, I don't get the for every 6 hits, I get a large chunk of healing, but I also take damage for each of those 6 hits until then. So if I sheath my weapon, I lose that healing streak, but I keep all the damage. So that's why I almost died like 3 times there.
Yeah, and once you get past, I think I want to say like right past about the past Adios really is when the run can actually start getting kills off. You'll start seeing where monsters like Tigrex can absolutely get a kill. It's unlikely. We're starting to get into the things like, okay, we've kind of pushed through the easy monsters, now we're getting to the tough stuff. This is where things can actually start CCing you, cutting you, not really hard time. So we're going from easier part of the game, which is still fairly difficult, to the harder part of the game, kind of where the game turns up the heat quite a bit. That's gonna be fun. Another thing that's worth noting is whenever we fight Tigrex, I did not want to time and I forgot to eat. Okay, sweet. Monster spawns is great. Cases. Tigrex, I don't necessarily want a monster spawn because I can't get any of my buffs out and I forgot to eat them. Marathon Nerve. Which is gonna give me. So meals, actually we're putting up meals real quick. Meals give you massive stat boosts, they're just worth doing. So whenever I forget to eat, yes, loss.
So generally eating will give you 50 additional maximum health, 50 additional maximum stamina,
20.
3 different damage perks, or 3 different perks that have different... Wait, what? Where is he?
Up at Camp 1. Or 1 north, he should be. Dive south.
I guess?
No, he broke right. He broke right. He broke left. He's up north left. Down. Into the Vale. So we're actually in a map that we haven't talked about much, the Rotten Vale. This is one of the cooler places. Go up.
He's up, but he's going this.
Yeah, he's. The Rotten Vale is actually off the skeleton of a creature, well, a relative of a creature called Nabdala Madur, which is a really, really cool world snake. If you haven't seen him, he's really cool. Fun monster. Super, super fun fight. And this is built on the skeleton of one of those earlier games in the series already referenced. This is one of the ways they do it. Taking monsters from other parts of the game.
He turned way more than.
Wave dashing.
He turned way more than 90 degrees there.
Yeah, so sometimes Tigrex can decide that his spine is made of jello, which is awful. Let me off. Which is awful for trying to get those flinch shots because it means rotate way too far and just decide I don't want to be there anymore. Second behavior that can occur whenever you're trying to flinch shot is called wave dashing, where they will decide that that wall doesn't exist and nothing you say will deter them of it. Or I was early. And that was an example of both those things happening. He had a rubber spine and a wave dash. It's pretty rare. Clutch Claw is very well made. Every once in a while, it disagrees with the game. Once again for Tigrex, I'm going for the head. I want to burst him down as fast as we can. Oh,
I needed to get the rotate out.
Sorry, I was in the flow. So the other thing that's really is
Do you have how to use Zen and Rage?
yeah, I do. Mine's
Oh. You changed his mind. Which, to be fair,
it's
I get it.
Tigrex and Rage is really that's part of his like calling card as a monster. Is really easy. Grease. Alright, so I'm gonna see if I can't do something called Helmbreaker walking. Helmbreaker walking is a tool that's both used in the run and something that I think can be frustrating if you don't manage it properly. Hitting a hitbox in the edge of the Helmbreaker, and then I was denied that Helmbreaker. And pressing triangle repeatedly will allow you to launch forward. If you get it properly in the right timing, you can actually walk across the monster to hit the part you want to hit from the other side, which is a great way for longsword mains to reposition. If the hammer is, occupying the head, or you have a great sword main that wants to get a specific part, you can use that to kind of get around and be nimbly-pimbly. There are 14 weapons in the game. We're using 2 of them today. You won't be more than these 2 today. But maybe next time in the next marathon, we'll bring 2 different weapons. We'll see. I think he's out. Yeah, he's. Nice. Excellent save on that.
He's like, he just went on an adventure.
Has 14 weapons. Some are equally technical and complicated. Master, but many of them are fairly easy. Part of the genius of Monster Hunter, and it's very difficult to master. So if you have the time to put into it, you're willing to learn how the game works. Highly recommend it. Also, we just killed that guy in less than 5 minutes.
But Freya's Feather, what if I'm new to the game and I have nobody to play with and I have no idea what I'm doing?
Play with? I play this on time. My favorite games.
I'm gonna say, I hate to self-promote, but really I just want to promote the game. It's a great game if you need people to play with. She and I are always around, and we really, really enjoy teaching people the game.
Yes.
Would it be alright for me to quickly chat about some stuff?
Go ahead.
Awesome, thank you. We have some incredible incredible runs coming up. One of our incentives that we've got, we're just over $291 away. That's for Alien Isolation Steering Wheel Percentage Nightmare from Nico Hart.
I want to see that so bad.
Me too. It's gonna be so much fun. We've also got one for Devil May Cry 5, Faust Head cutscene. So guys, let's have those donations coming in, please. It's for a really great cause.
I can personally attest that run is gonna be great. And if you haven't seen the cutscene, it is one of the best cutscenes in gaming. Throwing that out there. Wow, it's a party down here in bot lane. All right. All right, Bracky. So, Brachidios.
We love this game.
We don't love Brachidios. Casually or as a speedrun fight. Awful, and I kind of want to talk about why, but let's see how the fight goes, and if he decides to be a jerk, we'll talk about why he's kind of really annoying. And if he plays nice, I won't defame him. You know, we'll keep this civilized. Bracky, you're on off a great start, my dude. One thing about Bracky, he has an amazing music piece. If you haven't heard the Brachidios theme song, go listen to it. It's awesome. So right there you saw me.
This way, Bracky.
So Bracky is super nimbly pimbly, and he just doesn't take much damage. Oh, we mentioned hit zones earlier. That was on the hand, wasn't it?
Yep. I couldn't see anything. My camera was non-existent.
Bracky has hit zones that I can't name them properly on this stream, because it is a family-friendly stream. I can't use the word that I want to use for them, but I'll let your imagination fill in the blanks. Call them hit zones when they're fine, and we call them something else when they're not. He also does what's called Blast Blight, which takes 5 separate dodge actions to remove, which is terrible, a long time sink, and it's just really dangerous. Huge amounts of burst damage coming out of it. It's really big damage. And you have
And
to roll.
those little puddles on the floor just give it to you.
Yeah. So he has a lethal combination of armor, burst damage, and a ridiculous health pool combined with a ton of mobility. Makes him just one of the worst monsters to fight. And he has a lot of moves that have lingering hitboxes and or
Wait, I need clear bite. Okay.
That's so connected. I was given that Helm Breaker by the grace of the Montan God. Exactly. The word that I would use to describe these hit zones on a charity stream is they leave much to be desired. Why he's super tanky and super hard to pin down, and we really want to lock him up, as I said. And Yuki mentioned turf wars earlier, which are things that could happen in this game where two monsters, same zone, and they decide to have a battle. Which sounds really cool, and it is. At the speedrun, it's terrible, it's time loss, it's not worth the damage. Lose not being able to attack the monster, you lose control of the fight, there's not enough CC. From a casual perspective, though, amazing. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So like, that's the thing. That's 4. Also, I'd like to bring up something else called invaders. Invaders are a system of the game where those turf wars can be incited from other monsters in the game. Those monsters don't have to be local spawn pool. They can be something called invader. Womburrow we fought earlier as an invader. Also a monster called Devil Joe and Uragon. Don't want to see Devil Joe, ever. No, not for the speedrun. That's terrible. Uragon is a monster that we really hope to not see as well. Uragon, that was that blast paying off for him. Uragon can decide that he doesn't like you, and will do these things called tremors. Which is not just a movie from the 90s, it's actually a status effect, and it's awful. which will turn the ground into jello and leave you standing there for way too long going, I'm going to die, thanks Uragon. It's a thing.
We have a donation.
Ooh!
Thank you, Jason Vader, for your $2 donation. It's not much, but I wanted to help out in some way. This is a good cause. Keep up the great work, everyone. Thank you so much.
And every dollar is appreciated, but legitimately. You have $1, we appreciate you. Really?
He tried to leave.
Good.
Idiot.
Unfortunately, there was a trap in his way. Fortunate for him. That's for Kidios. That fight can go worse. Yeah, that's a scary thought. It can go worse. I know, right? And next up is why we brought up invaders. Agiana. You heard my sigh through the microphone. You're very perceptive. Shrieking is a monster that on its own is actually pretty fine. It's got decent hit zones, its moves are a little bit annoying, it's a flyer, but it's a pretty generic monster.
It's a nice Rathalos.
Icy Wyvern, it's pretty fine. ACY Shrieking is one of our lowest lows. Solo Fatalis, I am seriously tempted to fight Fatalis. We haven't brought it up, but the last expansion for out on October 1st, and the title update is going to include a monster called Fatalis, which is one of the most legendary monsters in the franchise, and I'm so sad it wasn't out for the marathon, because I would have totally prepped that for a bunch. Tricky. Let's see if it behaves or not. And it's not so much behaves, it's that things around Tricky behave. We already mentioned. I'll bring up your point about Foresight Slash in but I already brought up invaders. Brought them up, they kind of know they invade other maps, they kind of roam around, they can cause turf wars, and the like. Legiana has a oh yeah, and a lot of things more. Has a nasty habit of having a partner, which is, you know, good for her. It's always life, right? Problem is, don't want that partner to lower. There's lots more roars, which can cause crowd control from us, and it's slower to have to handle 2 monsters. And the things we use to dissuade the creature, called dung pods, where you literally throw poo into the monster's face, I'm not joking, those have a percentage chance of working, which means that if the monster decides to ignore them, it can be very, very bad very quickly. I forgot the hot cocoa. This is awkward. I hear yeah, there's Loggy. Alright, so this is actually happening. We have a situation. Agiana and a Shrieking don't want to trigger any shock flash pods or whatever. I accidentally hit Shrieking. Shrieking's out. I'm peeling. Because regular Agiana is now involved in the fight, and we now have to be able to handle them both at the same time. Slow, it's awkward, it's cumbersome, it's frustrating, and because they're both airborne, one of those fights that's slow. Oh, thank goodness she's out of the air. So our goal is now to start racking up as much damage as possible. I want to get red bar, which is that red glow you see on that gauge, as quickly as I can. I need to get to red, at least yellow in this first couple combos. I can actually start really putting down the hurt. Why is she so many zoomies? Why are you zoomies, Legiana?
Keep wailing.
So this Loggy has the zoomies. We're gonna have to compensate with that for focus, crowd control, and just kind of bursting her down as fast as we can. Don't want her moving around. Don't want her getting run. Nice, nicely done, babe. A lot of times, those stars you see where the monster's head are actually called actually called stun or KO.
I got it.
Both of our weapons do KO. My weapon can do it on unsheathed the blade. Hers can do it whenever she has something called an impact mantle equipped to the weapon, which will kind of like a coat that does special effects. I'm wearing two, which is Evasion Mantle and Apothecary Mantle. Evasion Mantle, when I use it, will cause any evasion to give me a 20% damaging. Apothecary Mantle will increase my status chance. She's running Impact Mantle, which causes all of her arrows to do KO damage. As I'm sure you can think about it, it's basically a ranged hammer. It's super broken. It's legitimately overpowered, and if you haven't run it yet, I highly... Right. Alright, so we're putting down some... Gets hurt. She's starting to feel pretty banged up. We're starting to really put her down. Capital fairly soon. Probably pretty soon. Yeah. Nicely done. Excellent recovery there. Once again, we mentioned at the start of the run, this run is about RNG management, not manipulation. Where it's all set in stone, or like watching some Pokemon where like they range the RNG exactly. This run is about mitigating that RNG, and handling the outliers as they're thrown your way.
Because sometimes the monster is just like, you know what I want to do? I want to leave. Where are you going? Far away. Why?
It's to reinstall a... That's awesome, man. Glad to see people picking up. Awesome. He's incredible. Legitimately. If you don't, I'm around if you want to find a group. I'm always down to clown and love helping new players. Yeah, this...
Look, let's be real. The pandemic has left me, like, very desperate for social interaction. I will teach you how to play this entire game if you just be my friend.
That's fair, honestly. This run is really, this is fine to run. Like, that, we're kind of joking around about it, but, like, really, that is the run. Everything is fine. This is handling those problems. It's a Nergigante, especially. A lot of that. The second half, we're going to have a bit more time for each hunt, so there's questions you guys want to have answered. This is the time to drop them in the chat. If the commentator has lovely questions, whatever you guys want to do, pose them in the chat. We are going to have some longer fights after Full Granjnath, which is the first of... Oh, is the first of the pseudo-problem children. Talk about... been through the...
Hey, Angela, check out that wall. That wall. Wait, hold on. That wall. Check it out. It's really cool.
What?
Wall? Yeah, check it out. Get a close look.
Yeah. Absolutely damn. Have not played Monster Hunter before. World is the best game to pick up if you haven't played Monster Hunter. The community has never been bigger. The game has so many quality of improvements. If you're new to the franchise, pick up World. I highly recommend it. My favorite game is, what I would say...
Oh god, his turn. He's going that way now.
My favorite entry is G, but I would say pick up World. It's... If you have access to a PS4, Xbox One, or PC, and run it, oh my goodness, go pick it up. It's that good. As I said, I have 3,000 hours. Granted, across 2 devices. Still, thousands of hours of my life have gone into this game, and I still am not bored. I still find satisfaction in different weapons. All of them are unique and dynamic, and just cool. So, it's kind of a shame we can't show different weapons run, because we are focusing on, longsword and bow, but some of the weapons are legitimately amazing. I mean, so like, there's like one of them is a charge blade, which is this battle axe that turns into a sword and shield. You then use to discharge this elemental energy and this ball of pain. It's great.
it's a no, like the longsword is like a weebish, flowy, magical no you. It's like you dodge and you stab. The charge blade is, I don't care if you are, 59 times bigger than me. I'm just gonna put my shield up, and then I'm gonna pull an axe out and kill you.
It's great.
Would it be alright for me to talk about Pause Your Game quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Or something?
Go ahead, we're good.
Pause Your Game is a 501c non-profit animal advocacy group whose mission is to help raise awareness, funds, and other resources for both private and municipal animal shelters, rescues, and sanctuaries through video game marathons, streaming, and other events such as tournaments and LAN parties hosted by Pause Your Game. Roughly 8 million animals enter American animal shelters per year, and 1.5 million of those animals are killed. By working together, we can take a stand against kill shelters and give our furry friends a second chance of finding a forever home and receiving the care they need.
You good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was an in-game call as well. But yes, definitely great cause, great announcers, great people. Much love. As much as we are in a panic call situation, much love. You guys do a great. Event is great. I'm so proud to be part of it. Have you, like, one of the weapons that you mentioned in chat was Insect Glaive. You have a bug on your arm, and then you have this twirling stick of doom that you can use to helicopter.
One second. I need rocks.
Okay, I've got rocks. I got it.
Okay. Hit him.
Yeah.
I got piercing pods. I got piercing pods.
1,000 dragons. Sounds good. You can use the helicopter across the sky like some amazing rafflecopter and do lots of damage, and then land on the ground and spin it around like this murder stick that it is. It's great. Insect Glaive is amazing. There's the good old greatsword, that is I'm going to hit you with a piece of rebar the side of a building.
Have you ever just looked at Cloud's Buster Sword and you're like, wow, that's really small?
Have to go play greatsword. It's great. Oh. There's what? Guys, what? There's one of my other favorite weapons is sword and shield. It seems like, oh, it's a sword. What's this shield? 20 hours. Let's go. What's sword and shield gonna do? Well, sword and shield lets you fly up into the air and spin over people and bounding damage and dance with a blade in your hand and use a shield to use items while you're fighting. Well, also, I think he's supposed to capture. Like, if you think, there's Heavy Bowgun, which is one of my favorites. It is literally, I wanted to play Call of Duty in my Monster Hunter. It's an amazing weapon. There's Light Bowgun, which is nimble and able to hammer down status effects and other range damage with staying super safe by evasion. Attacks, which is a...
Okay. Wait, so the other one I want to bring up is there's Greatsword, which is if you like one big, very large number. But if you want a million tiny numbers, play dual blades.
Yeah, that's dual blades. You want tiny numbers? Think you Naruto? Then go right ahead.
Blunder.
Yeah, there's all the weapons are amazing. And there's a weapon for everybody. 20 hours. 20-hour marathon, guys. Did it.
Alright, things are coming in. 20 hours is the limit, right? We're just gonna end the run here? No? No. Alright, fine. I guess I guess, all the other runners can keep going. I guess we'll finish our run.
So, like, let's go here. Shout out to everyone else who did a run before us. Like, this run has been with all the runs. Got us 20 hours is genuinely impressive, and I'm floored to be here with you guys.
I'm gonna say everyone here has just put in so much work, and it's really impressive.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And I think, one of the reasons that when we wanted to show off World is this is the first time this has been shown to a marathon of this kind of scale is World. And this game is criminally underrated in terms of marathons. wanted to show it off and say this game, if you want a speedrun where the difference between being world record holder is not obscene memorization or do I know this strat because this particular puzzle that happens to be random within Silent Hill, I'm looking at you, or, you know, I have to know every single nook and cranny. This is the kind of run for you guys. If you want a run that's your mechanical skill, you know, one-on-one duel between the monster, pick this game up. It's so good at that. I know for me, the thing that got, like, I wanted to speedrun Pokemon for a while. The thing that got me out of Pokemon speedrun is having to memorize all of that information is daunting, right? Whereas this, I can put on my best image set, I can walk in, and I can go stab monsters for the next 2 hours. And it's great. Like, there's more to it than that, but, like, that ability to just pick up and play is the Monster Hunter always has had, and because it started as a, I don't know if you guys do this, as a mobile franchise, with, like, 2 really, really good PSP games that were meant for people on trains, because of that origin, it still has that pick up and play flair that the game has started its life cycle with. That's part of the reason it's so much fun. You can come in, play a hunt, I was robbed, and keep going. Right? And that's just an incredible thing. Also, Acidic Lavinus is Lavinus but edgier. He stopped listening to his mother and started, you know, listening to Linkin Park. Having a rough phase in his life. But he's also really an amazing monster, legitimately one of my favorites. Glavenus, regular Glavenus fights like a greatsword. Acidic fights like a longsword, and it's one of the reasons my favorite monsters. I may give him some flack, but like, so good. An amazing aesthetic. That tail can actually be sharpened down to a razor's edge. He begins like doing some crazy spins with it. It's super cool. It also applies a defense down debuff. Like, just so good. So good. I was granted that by the gifts of kind. I did not deserve that Helmbreaker. Take it. I should also mention, I don't know if we mentioned at the start of the run, but Rainy and I have agreed to donate $1 for every whiffed Helmbreaker. If you want to join us on that, I encourage. No. I still whiffed. I don't care how I whiffed. I whiffed.
Rock. Do you have rocks?
I do, yeah.
Alright.
Eat! Like, if you guys want to pick up this game, I can ramble about it for... And I do frequently on my own channel. It's just that good. Also, I should point out this longsword is a mod on the... Actually, a visual mod that I picked out for Thunderthon. I hope you all enjoy the lightning particle effects, because, like, it's Thunderthon. Get it? Hey, Satch. How's it going, buddy? Yeah. And I do try and answer questions in the chat, so if you have anything you guys want to bring out. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention parry, didn't I? Or foresight flag. Anytime you hear a ding, followed by me mysteriously not taking damage, I parried that. No, really? Dude. A whole lot of runaway right now. I'm gonna need you to stop. Got him. Alright. Trap. I got the trap. Trinket. Nice. About 420 million. We'll see.
I don't get it. Can you explain it?
Good, we're doing good. Right. Up to Ebony Garen. Actually, give you have heard of the murder weasel that is Ebony Odogaron. Is anyone in chat familiar with Ebony?
What's the name of the Japanese legend, the Oni?
It's, I want to say the Kami Itachi. Taken? Kami Itachi. Yeah, it's actually, so this is modeled after, fun fact, like much of, Monster Hunter is modeled after real-world creatures, or, fantastical creatures. And this one is after the Kami Itachi. It's probably the most zoomy of them all. Is Zumi has really bad hit zones and just very zoomy boy. He's a very, very zoomy boy, very murder happy. Go either really well or really wrong. Got a tiny health pool, which makes him particularly scary if you do start snowballing on him, getting heartbreaks and start racking up bonus damage. Really die. So he's actually one of the monsters that really can become. I mean, both statements are accurate.
Check out that wall, Odo. Look at it, it's really cool. Isn't it a neat wall?
It is a neat wall. He can become really snowbally both directions.
Now kiss.
Kissing the wall is really, really worth it for us. Again, 2% damage. Those that are just kind of popping in weren't here at the beginning of the run. 2% damage. Oh, free. Yes. Oh, we're fighting Doomy Boy. Kind of just going along. Check back with our host and see if she has anything she wants to bring up that was any questions you had or stuff like that that you were looking to get answered while we were attacking this weasel.
No questions at this point. However, I do have a donation.
Ooh.
From Angela. Angela, thank you so much for your $26 donation. She says, I love speedruns and I love the charity this is supporting. You two are great runners. Happy to donate to a good cause. Good luck with the rest of the run.
Thanks, Ange.
Thank you.
Very good friend of mine. But that is in fact the same Angela. Much love.
We have now raised $1,700, guys. Thanks to everyone for help.
And let's just take a second, if I may. $1,700 on the first marathon is for this particular organization. 20 hours of uptime, one minor tech hiccup. That is insane. That is an incredible performance from everybody involved, and I couldn't be more honored to be part of this. I just put the phone bricks. Still are incredible. Legit. It is satisfying for sure. Like, you guys blew. When I first start Thunderthon Marathon, I'm like, oh, it'll be a small thing, you know, we'll do alright, but it won't be just. And then, for it had gotten this far, I underestimated that, and I will not make that mistake again. You guys are that awesome. And I won't underestimate you guys ever again. Much love, much respect. Incredible. You're welcome, guys. Keep up. Woo! That's it. Ow. Ow. Odogaron, no one likes being punched 16 feet into the air. Stop showing off your physique. Oh, not you.
Mm-hmm. I got blooded. Died.
Alright, that's our...
I got greedy and I tried to lure him into the trap and I took a death, but it's okay because I'm right here.
That's our first death.
Unfortunately, I'm very good at killing myself in this game.
Odo? So, I was going to talk about this mostly during Nergigante, and I will be doing that more during Nergigante, but this is an example of what's called... Odo has... Okay, so monster AI, we're going to spend a moment on this, actually. Monsters have envision a conveyor belt, okay? there's little boxes with your belt that have different moves, and each of those moves can actually be monster's behavior. There are 3 things that modify that. First off, whatever pattern you choose will determine the order in which the boxes appear down the line. The second thing that will modify that is what's called, what I refer to as a revenge value. You've heard speedrunning? That's that same thing. It's the same thing as you've exploded. Oh, Gajalaka got. And that will actually cause the monster to force what's called a retaliation. Which will be really, really rough. And cause the monster to actually attack. The third thing will happen is a status that is a combination of hit points, flinch, and other problems. Those problems then cause the monster to do what's called desperation moves. We don't want to see DMs. They're terrifying, they're scary, they're slow. They're just a lot of badness in one package. Can I get the... That's annoying. Alright. So, right there, when she was up against Odo Garen, he was really going aggressive on. That was a condition where he had fulfilled player health condition, and was taking a lot of punishment, which meant he really decided to go incredibly aggressive. Really, Odo? Odo? As Satch said, a lot of monsters have conditions like that. If you're focusing, if you're having trouble with Ebony Odo, Amber's gonna really help. Really? So, like, you can remove certain moves from his move pool out. Any... Going down. I'm gonna catch him. Please don't go up. Gotcha. Don't stun me. Nice.
That was a sloppy Ebony Odo Garen.
It was sloppy, but we saved it.
Honestly, I was getting statuses out, but because of it, I kept sheathing my weapon and I kept taking that damage that I wasn't able to heal.
Good to see you, Illness. Alright, now we're getting to the boss rush. This is... I say the boss rush, like, not that these aren't all bosses, but... This is part of the run where deaths are... We're both very good at this, so deaths aren't... But this is the part of the run where you can absolutely die. Volcana is the first lethal monster that can bring a lot of hurt. Demands respect, is the first Elder Dragon we'll be slaying on this quest together. The start of the end of the run. We're kind of making our way to the second half, and as just because this fights tend to be quite a bit longer. So, of course, more questions in the chat is always appreciated, and post a few donations. Great place to fill a lot of fighting to do. There'll be one more monster we can capture, but Rainy's gonna make the first Palico tool switch in the run. This is the first part where you're gonna see a tool switch over.
So, Volcana is an Elder Dragon. Traps, both electric and pitfall, do not work on Elder Dragons. We can't capture them. We have to kill them. So because of that, that means 1/3 of my cat usefulness is just gone. And honestly, it's almost more than 1/3 because it's one of her most useful parts. And so I switched her to a different thing, which is it's just damage.
Yeah, you'll see it. And I would like to involve the chat. When you'll hear me say the word.
She should be over here. It's just take this.
Godflies. Yeah. You'll hear me say, "Let's go, Hazel." That happens. Join in the chat with your best cat emotes. Please join us in the chant of "Let's go, Hazel," because Hazel's gonna put out some serious damage. There she is, starting up with the Meowcano. That's Hazel. Whenever she plants it on Volcana, I want to start chanting "Let's go, Hazel." Is start putting out some hurt. And I'm serious when I say that does 3,000 damage. I'm not joking. Like, it's brutal. So Hazel's gonna rack up some serious damage. during this hunt. And so when you hear me start chanting, "Let's go, Hazel," let's you join.
What on this planet is more dangerous than a cat who knows how to wield
Fireworks?
for the sake of their own evil cat desires?
Not much. Not much. Volcana is a beautiful dragon. If you have not fought Volcana or haven't heard her, the Monster Hunter team absolutely killed this design. Fights like a rapier, actually. Alright, she's doing walls. She got a wall pattern. 7. Volcana is high-key one of my favorite fights in the run. One of my favorite monsters. It's just... I've used a cancel animation there, animation cancel there, off the foresight slash, which is that backslide you guys see slide, into a special sheathing, which let me slide to the target and then get my weapon ready to rock and roll. Keep the damage down. It's a really kitey pattern. Really, Volcana? I was robbed. So Volcana has a massive hit zone on her head. It's a massive weak point if you plant blows there. Can Hazel use her Meowcano?
Not yet.
Okay. So, Calico abilities are on cooldown, like in traditional MMO. Really want to get a second Meowcano out if we can. Oh. That's one of the dead zones in her combo. Also, we haven't talked about poison, have we? We want to save that for Shara, because goodness knows.
Poison's super simple. It's you put poison on the monster, they take damage over time. Shara, the final monster of the run, is incredibly weak to poison, which is, one of the few
Are
times.
you for real right now? Rainy and I have been hunting together for, what, 2 years now?
Not even.
Feels like it.
I'd say feels like forever, but...
Elatrion? Sadly, no. If we have time, I could show Elatrion, but that is a solo fight that I'm not comfortable with that solo fight yet. I could show it off, but... Ala is a fight that I'm not comfortable with, to be honest, yet. I can solo it, but it is not a...
Marathon safe run.
Yeah, not at all. That fight can just decide it's over now, and if you didn't hit it, if you didn't do an arbitrary amount of damage, yeah, I could show its cutscene, but I don't think I could bring one down, honestly. It's not a run I'm comfortable with.
It's a surprise incentive. If you can raise $1 million for charity, we'll do it.
Ruiner, however, was met, so if you guys are excited for Ruiner Nergigante, not for maybe, what, 30 minutes, maybe 40 from Tempered Ruiner. If you guys really want to see that fight, Ruiner was met, and I'm pumped to more about it when we get there. I don't want to spoil too much. And to be fair, Elatrion's like a 20-minute fight. Okay, sleep animation started, which means you can run in. The second the sleep animation is started, the monster is... I'm going to save all of my actions until Rainy gets that bonk. Put the bombs against the crystal here. And I'm going to stand them back, because if I interrupt these, we're going to lose a lot of damage, and I'm going to lose a lot of crowd control. Ready?
Hazel can plant her own bombs, too.
Yeah, Hazel has bombs.
The best.
How can we Meowcano? That is the question.
Over here, Hazel. Come on.
There she is. She's doing it. All right, chat.
Oh, she got out her ballista.
know what? Let's go, Hazel. Let's go, Hazel. Hey, let's go, Hazel. Look at her go! It's got a little ballista. Oh, let's go, Hazel. The Palico are awesome. She's hitting for like 100 a shot every time she does that. It's great.
All three of us are over here, and Velkona's like, I'm going over there.
Probably crit by now. There's the Meowcano. Let's go, Hazel. Let's do it. Burn down that Velkona. Let's go. Alright, Velkona is done. After that gorgeousness that is Velkona, elegant, simple, beautiful, ice, elegant, and all that fun stuff. Time for one of the least elegant monsters in the game, whose main attack is tripping over himself and exploding.
He has my favorite roar of all the monsters because it sounds like a man who just stubbed his toe on a stair.
Yeah, that's true. Seething Basil Geese, his roar was actually modeled after an air raid siren. In fact, and he was modeled after a World War II bomber. Really, really cool aesthetically. His bike can be I don't have a polite way to put this, so we're just gonna leave it there. Basil Juice. If you guys have played
Sleazy Bagel Goose.
If you have played base Monster Hunter World, Monster will haunt your nightmares. I promise you. Especially if you want a lot of investigations. We have Seething, which is a monster that can either go amazingly well or off. Then we have one of my all-time favorite monsters, Blackveil Hazak.
Which can also go incredibly unwell.
And Blackveil straight up just... Blackveil... It's not even surprising when Blackveil gets... Just, it does that sometimes. Basil is a beanie. Monster I'm concerned about triple running on. I think I saw the clip. My favorite moment of Basil Geese was I got the / parry, the sheathing parry, on a Basil Geese as he dive bombed me, and I just flew past him and watched him fall to the ground going, oh, why? Oh. It was great.
As he crashed to the ground, Basil could not help but think to himself, that's not how physics works, but then he was dead.
It's fun. I like Basil Geese, Seething Basil Geese overall. He just as a speedrun monster can be a bit of a pain in the butt. In Blackveil. This, on my splits has a 10-minute split. It can be 5 minutes. Also be 10. Basil Geese. It really... He's aggroed immediately. That's fun. That roar is incredible, though. It really does sound like he stubbed his toe. It didn't. Oh, I made a mistake. Well, remind me when next to get, I should actually ancient potion. Oh. Ow. Basil. You think you're playing at Evo, but calm down. In these two weapons, in terms of pure time to kill, bow will out DPS longsword if you have the correct element and proper setup. In just pure TTK comparison. Between these two weapons. However, the fastest is going to be dual HPG, and it's faster by, I kid you not, at least 30 minutes. I'm not even joking. Heavy Bowgun has the ability to, on Basil Geese and Shara Ishvalda, reach over 600 damage per second, and that's not even crazy build. That's just a really high DPS build. We chose these weapons because, well, they're technical, they're fun, and they're flashy. And also there are two... That was Allie, not me. Seems like I actually got double status.
I got knocked off by a flying wyvern.
Okay, so these little pieces of glorious code, that I'm sure you all can fill in the blanks what I want to say there, and decide that they want to interrupt. We'd really prefer they wouldn't. Basil! So that we really... Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Bagel. I don't think he's gonna hit anything.
Okay, fair enough. And he was kind of in the boonies there. A lot of this run is unspoken communication. Sorry, I had to focus for a second based on timing that parry. You may notice that Rainy and I will frequently ask very minimal questions of each other or ask a single word question. And a lot of the reason for that is that sleeps are very and the biggest reason that sleep is so useful is, again, that bonk, the crowd control, the two-hit multiplication on the next hit that's really big. Basil, could you not have a Zoomies pattern? Okay, we have a Zoomies pattern. We have a Zoomies Basil Geese. Alright. So, especially questions if you're gonna have a Zoomy Basil Geese. And a lot of that is just... Basil. Basil.
Oh god. Heck.
I'm stunned. Chasing for you, chasing for you. This is the most zoomy Basil Geese I've ever seen. Why is he so zoomy? Why are you so zoomy? Read this hunt. Yeah, because he's just been zoomed. Breaker's fix, nice meme. I lost train of thought of where I was going with this because basically was so zoomy. These are extremely aesthetic weapons. They're also very flashy, very fun. Longsword is my main weapon. I play it. I'll show you my guild card after this, actually. Show you guys what I mean when I play a lot of longsword. So the guild card will show you successful hunts with that weapon, or hunts that have completed, i.e. you died or whatever. This will not count resets, so keep that in mind when I pull this guild card up. When this Basil Geese is dead, it won't show resets. Really? I got denied by the... Okay. That was an auto leave. He could just do that.
He didn't want to be here anymore.
Look like. I can't show it. Bo is different. Bo is an amazing spot right now. I quite like Bo. I don't play a great Bo, but I play a pretty decent Bo, and longsword is just a weapon that I have literally thousands of hours of experience on. I'll probably before the next hunt show my guild card a little bit and be like, guild card. So if you want to know how much someone's played, you can see their guild card. It's a... Oh, that Helmbreaker got hitbox rolled, which is good, man. Those couldn't tell that was sarcasm. Basil, I understand you're upset. No. I did not plan that. Pretty much, yeah. I think about 700 and... maybe even 800 hunts with longsword alone that have completed, I think, on this account, and that's just PC, or it's not even counting PS4, which probably is over 1,000 by a significant margin. I've played a lot of longsword. That was a tail cut, alright. I'll check. It's probably... That's an Uragon. Why is Uragon involved? Please give me red bar. Please don't get involved. Basil Geese, stop baking... Stop it. When I said this was a 10-minute split... What the... I hit Basil Geese, not Uragon. Alright, that's good. Rathalos. 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 I know you're the poster child of Bon Hun! Uragon. Step off. Could both of you kindly leave quickly in the away direction, please? Rathalos. Yeah, monster parties are really fun casually. They are awful for speedrunning. Rathalos. Please. Leave. Oh, right. This is the first example of ignoring dung pods. Love it. There are, what, 6 conditions that can cause them to ignore dung pods? Rage in combat, Turf War, RNG, and one other one, I think?
I'm sorry, they're just trying to murder me.
I really need you to leave, Rathalos. I need you to kindly bus right off the other way. Thank you.
Would now be a good time to mention another donation?
Yeah, sure. Also worth handling.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you, Queen of the Harpies, for your $5 donation. We really appreciate it. And thanks for being here, everyone.
Queen of the Harpies? My mascot's a harpy?
Wait, you made a donation in the middle of the run? Cool.
I'm not that good. Look, Queen of the Harpies. Right, Basil Geese's threshold is super low.
Well met.
Cool. That was a... Hey, welcome, fellow Harpy. Mission.
You know, I was playing the game too hard there, but my audio was way too loud when there were 3 monsters in the room.
You don't learn these things with them in the same room. Welcome on it. Love my sip emote. Okay. That was drawn by a very, very good friend of mine. Ali Sip is an amazing emote. I don't know if am I allowed to plug her? Is that okay?
I mean, your friend Of Owls does art.
Yeah,
I don't know that she's doing commissions right now. She's...
I don't believe she is. Alright, so, Of Owls, OV Owls, OV... I'm gonna go find her. Amazing artist, she did all of my mascot, which I can put on stream. Is Allie. Art. I named my Palico after her. Good. Really, all emotes for my channel and her art and stuff, and incredible. She's a huge inspiration for me wanting to do speedrunning and for me not to really. So she's amazing.
Great friend, great artist.
Yeah, send her some love.
Alright, let's do this.
Is really clever, yeah. For the monster I was most worried about. Blackmail. Stop tapping my leg. Blackveil Hazak. Blackveil has unique status of other monsters don't have. The fluke. A fluke buff that will cause 50% of your max health to appear. 50. Not misspeak. Really a problem fighting an Elder Dragon who can hit for more than half your health bar in a single swing. Blackveil is probably the most monster in the because he and will racking up, and he's mixed because he has. I always love Val. It's a super fun fight. He has a couple of mechanics that are really vulnerable and compensate. So we're gonna be exploiting a lot of those. First thing would be very, 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 very short.
Is he? Oh, he's not down here. He's not. Is he on the slope?
That's one. Yes. He's upstairs. Oh god, he's upstairs. I didn't know he could... That's not... In all of our practice runs, he never spawned. Alright. Well, more time to explain the Fluvia. Show you the more of the Rotten Veil, which is the way. No, we're speedrunning, but... And it's just one of those monsters that can, but because he has low, shortened range, and very, very, very low flinch, able to break down very quickly, keep him out of enrage, which allows us to do the flinch shot. If you start a run, we kind of mentioned that, which will send him to the wall. We want him to kiss the wall as much as we can. We want to make the wall and Hazak need to become friends as much as possible. Now, I'm bursting down his chest piece. I am trying to get some hits in the head, but I don't necessarily want to focus that right away, because the head's gonna have one mechanic I can handle, and the chest is a mechanic I don't want to deal with. We're gonna burst down the head for chest piece first. Chest piece is gonna allow it to do things. One, it has a Nova tied to the chest piece. The pain, terrible, awful. It puts the Fluvia everywhere. I have to get the base mop. It's a pain in the butt for everybody. Second thing it does, allows her Sayuki breath at full chat, which is a big problem because it's a massive zone I don't want to be. So she drained energy from air right there. Thing you want to let happen. You want her to drain, not laser. So we're gonna hit the chest piece to prevent that from happening. Once we have the chest piece broken, we're gonna go and put damage on the head, because now we want to be able to create some crowd control opportunities. I'm gonna walk this Helmbreaker from left to right foot up to the head. I am taking damage from being acid, don't worry about it. Hazel's doing the damage over there. Go and roll that seed. Now her fighting in the acid is bad, but it is acceptable. So it's now light outside, it's now daytime. Congratulations. I'm gonna put on a torch pod here to go ahead and surge the fire away. The Fluvia she puts down doesn't handle torch pods at all. So by keeping torch pods in my inventory and not spending them on fish shots, I'm able to use that to burst down the Fluvia and create zones of safety. Ow. My. Terrible. Gonna be a combo probably, yeah. Going for that big Helmbreaker. Tail, it's fine. That first hit. So a lot of times when she turns around like that, she's gonna do a scratch or bite. I'm standing the Fluvia. Yeah, I'm gonna get a Fluvia to fix this, to get a Nullberry, and then heal off the day. My health bar got reduced in terms of max health. I have red bar. Ready?
Oh god. I'm just gonna hit.
So we're gonna go and big bonk. I'm now gonna hit the head. The chest piece has already been broken, meaning she can't do her Nova, she can't do her Gen, can't do Mega Laser. She's got to lock down to her abilities. I got cancelled on that one. Didn't whiff though, did damn. Start breaking that head piece. Get as much of it. Oh, she's starting to pop chest. Okay. The Spuff Clouds. Spuff Clouds gonna actually cause you to take the Fluvia damage. That's a breath weapon, yeah. The spores are terrible. We want to go and burst those parts off of her. I see the Fluvia effectively, but I'm going for that chest Helmbreaker anyway. Let's pop it. Great. Zone. I'm gonna back. Back up. Once again, I'm going for the chest piece. I want to break those spores off of her and prevent her from being able to do it again. Nice knockdown. Down? Yeah. Big Helmbreaker on the chest. Also, she has a very weak head hit zone, so I'm just here. Able to plant the Helmbreaker there. if you're a fluvian who does that eating animation, take health from you, usually kill you. Ow. Ozok again, she's gonna get kind of erratic, trying to pin her down. Fuck. There we go, there's a break. Okay, there's a claw chance here. Go for the sidestep there, try and get my red bar. I don't have enough gauge. Trigger that dash. Get the gauge building up. Oh, that's right weapon. Oh god. Ow! I said she could absolutely kill. I was talking about that breath weapon is 100% if you're not on your ball, that is on the ball, that's lethal. So careful about that. I hope we got this. Yeah.
Little side note about Valhazak that I love. This monster has a crossover event with Resident Evil. I know there's a lot of a shared Resident Evil community here, and there's a quest where it'll literally turn you into a Resi zombie.
Off the Effluvia. That's great.
You have to go around the map, collect green and red herbs, cure yourself, whatever. You know, that's not how it works exactly, but you know, it's a Resident Evil dragon. You can get a Claire and Leon armor set that is literally just their models from the
remake.
From the Resi remake.
Yeah.
RE2. And it's also how I was able to turn into a zombie earlier with Hazel acting like an adorable zombie.
It's amazing. And there's a zombie emote that actually has and good night. Oh, that Helmbreaker. It was a little bit of a rough. Rough edges. And that's Blackville. You can see my favorite fights in the game. Yeah, if you're struggling, bring it. Always take dull berries along for the ride. Got the tofu charm. I don't know if you guys have seen. It's actually the RPD tofu. Just hadn't noticed that. Threw that in there for the Resident Evil part of the run.
Okay, I'm a zombie. That's cool. Whatever. Who cares about me being a zombie? Look at my cat. Oh, she's drinking because she's.
Oh. Yeah. Crossovers. Namiel. Namiel's very straightforward. Dragon. Water dragon. There's electricity. It's great. It's a very
it's Splatoon.
very simple fight. Not a whole lot to say about. Namiel's also one of my top fights. You guys haven't fought Namiel?
If you've ever played Splatoon, you pretty much have it down.
Yeah, actually. All right. Oh. No time go. Yeah, marathon's been amazing.
Right?
At 2 hunts away, so we're gonna finish this Namiel. I'll be counting down bosses left with Namiel, Ishvalda. Final bosses of this. So we're actually towards the end. I forgot to eat again. I'm terrible at this. This doesn't happen normally. Okay.
Wait, did you aggro her in her
No,
nest?
I did not.
Yeah.
Heading down.
We don't want her to head down though.
I had to bail because of the. getting down to the. Oh wait, mushrooms. So Namiel has major fight zones, kind of not great. Mushrooms, prefer slope, but if we can't have slopes, downstairs is not great. Bigger mushrooms, nice.
Slope is the best. Downstairs is the worst.
And that was some careful wedge beetle management. Wedge beetles are a thing that lets you use the clutch claw we mentioned earlier to fly around the map. By chaining those three, you can actually skip a lot of the map. Getting up here very quickly was how I was able to get to the fight right as the bonk happened. Pretty much ideal timing. We didn't actually lose a lot of time there. We lost a few seconds. It could have been much worse. Now, I should mention Namiel's water armor. Aside from being gorgeous, Namiel has some water armor that, the pain is going to mitigate your damage and just cause you to generally suffer. Now, we want to disable that water armor as quick as we can, so things like Dragon Pods are really worth it to disable the dragon effect that all the Elder Dragons have, or weapons that have something called Elder Seal can be really nice for sealing that ability away at the sleep. I'm sorry, in midair. It's a great fight, for sure. That boy. Got 3 of them. Allie? Yes, Allie. Awesome. Alright. Got red bar. Oh, she's parried.
And she's leaving.
It actually hit. I'm proud of that. Elder Seal's great. Elder Seal will seal the abilities of Elder Dragons. Water armor. It'll remove the spores off Valhalla immediately. Cool stuff. It'll disable the Wind Aura and Kushala Deora, which I'm very, very glad is not in this run. Praise be to all RNGs. Kushala is not in this run. Like, I'd rather fight 2 Valhalla at once than fight a single. It's a shame, Kushala used to be awesome. Just kind of gotten the short end of the stick in this game. That water cutter move is actually really cool. It has a lingering effect to it. Oh, I lost the Humbreaker to water. Sadness. Aside from the initial beam hit by the up blast of ground, it can do a lot of damage to you. I mean, also does Water Blight, which I keep getting hit by and being stunned. Oh, goodness. Blights are a thing that affect you. There's status conditions like Water Blight and Shock Blight, which is what Namiel primarily does, cause a increase in stamina regeneration and increased chance to stun on hit, respectively. Makes them both super frustrating, especially at the same time. That's super fun. Let's go, Hazel. Let's go, Hazel! Aired it up. Oh, she popped the armor. Nice.
Everyone knows the natural predator of jellyfish dragons is fireworks.
Let's go, Hazel with the damage. She did nearly reference there. Assuming that was mostly hitting, she did around 3,000 damage in firework damage. Can we get around? Can we get some hype for the cat in the chat? Ow. Hi.
I need to stream enough to get affiliate just so I can have Hazel emote.
That's fair.
These are the important things in life.
Like, when I said Hazel legitimately contributes to DPS in this run, I know it's like, it's a cat. How does it do that? Now Kano is amazing. Ow. I am getting womboed a little bit. Ow. Look, I know you said you were just a fight earlier. Ow! I mean, why you gotta be like this, man? Alright. Oh god. Lost that to the perfect read. Trying to poke us, but big helm. There we go. Hack in the flow. The longsword is a very flow-based weapon. Not, pardon the pun, for the water dragon. But like, it has a lot of rhythm-based attacks. Yeah, you can play as the cats in Generation. And so being off the monster like that is a death sentence. He handled it pretty well. That was the EI parry, but it can absolutely be death sentence to be offbeat from a monster like that. Alright, man. You're going super strong. Go for the Helmbreaker, walk to the tail here, head here. Ooh, that's a DM. Ow. Got to see your DM. That is for desperation. The stronger in the by that, unless you're in endgame armor. Were we in armor equivalent to her? Hey, that probably was.
Bye, Nami. It was fun.
Nami is low today. Right. I'm kind of glad this is a marathon run because, like, I'm glad I could show this off. I was just offbeat start of the fight. I may thinking and debating doing backup strats on Shara to make.
I don't think we're very pressed for time.
What?
Mm-hmm.
The cool tricks, if you set up bombs on the wall, wake someone up and make them ready for them, they explode. Right. Next up is FrejasFeather. This is the final boss of the run. This fight is incredibly technical. A lot going on. A lot of moving parts.
And there's laser beams.
There's sound lasers everywhere, and it just... Shara can, in wombo combo you, Shara has a lot of death conditions, Shara has a lot of health. In fact, this is the fun fact, I didn't up to the organizers until now, so forgive me. This event version of FrejasFeather is not the main story version of FrejasFeather, because FrejasFeather is an RNG spawn, and we can't really get it to spawn for the run. We have to use an event version, meaning it's going to be faster than the story, it's going to have a great hit point. Thankfully, we practiced with this, so we're used to it. If you are seriously creeped out by eyes, I would consider, when the second phase begins, just be aware that he can do that. It's a warning. Shara is the event Shara. Normally, FrejasFeather has about 50,000 health, which is a lot. It's a lot of health for us to choose. Shara has 81,000 hit, which makes the monster on the run by a long shot. There are several things to optimize his health pool and cut him down with % health damage. Opening is incredibly important. Some focus going on. Just we'll try our best to talk our way through this fight, but it is one of the difficult fights in the run. Absolutely be a run killer. Dying here definitely not outside the realm of possibility.
How's it? Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to chat about one of our incentives we've got coming up in our next run, which will be RE7, and Moonring is going to be running that. We've got an incentive to choose to save Zoe or Mia, and at the moment, Mia's winning. I think we need to give Zoe a bit of a fair fight on this. What do you think?
Yeah.
So, guys, come donate. You can choose your target incentive and a poll bid war with your donation. 2 great run options with 1 donation.
Yeah. And if you want to give a potential best girl a chance, you can do that. Alright,
This way. This way, buddy.
I'm going for a wound, or the pod drop, and then I'm gonna back out. So we're trying to bait Shara Ishvalda these stones. The stones are gonna do a ton of damage and really put the hurt down. And because I did the first part of the wound, we can have a wound in the face, which means we can use the pods that just dropped there to go ahead and do more damage. Now we're going to start bursting down the head. Because we kept it here and it's not enraged, we're going to be able to go ahead and get the second bonk, which is going to give us a ton of damage. Once again, going for that big health chunk. For reference, after the second ball drop, she tends to be about 77% of his health, or give or take. 75 to 80, depending on how much damage we put down on it, average. So we're talking about a big burst of damage there. The rock's going to do a ton of work for us, and, you know, not having to do 20% of the damage is, pretty pog. It is possible, we found this out, with some friends, actually possible to soft gate. He has an HP gate at 40% health, and you actually can just burn him down that far until he'll stop taking damage. It's unlikely we're gonna get it in the 2-player run. With 4 people and 2 HPGs, you absolutely can. So fun fact, he has an HP. So you may see its wings are starting to change a little bit. I'm not gonna spoil what that means, just keep that in mind. You know, the marathon started Resident Evil. You guys know what wing transformations. Now we go for, that's a nice para. The para here is really important because he may be at HP threshold where he can technically transform to second phase, but we want to get as much damage off these monstrous hit zones as we can. Going for KOs and sleeps, those such effects, to really pin him down before he transforms. Now once he transforms, we're actually use an item I've used before in the run called a Farcaster. We're going to go ahead and say, that's cute, but bye. Because neither of us want to deal with that effect. Not worth it. We're going to go ahead and sharpen our weapons and grab more coatings. The second half of this fight is really...
He has a big dramatic phase change where it's like, wow, underneath all that rock was a very cool thing. Wow, I'm very impressed. But we don't care. It's slow.
It's slow. Alright, first roar is out. He's probably going to laser a location, so... Nope, you're safe. I'm calling out if she's safe or not because I don't want her to be caught by that laser beam that he's about to fire. I don't want her to get stuck in that. That Kamehameha will absolutely evaporate your health bar. It's incredibly nasty. It is literally more than half your health bar in one hit. It is an absurd amount of damage. And those little laser beams aren't a joke either. I'm going for one of the paws here because if I get a paw break, I'm going to get a knockdown. Knockdown means yes. Yes means we win, right?
We have another donation.
Awesome.
Amai, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Let's take out Mia before Chris can. Save Zoe. Thank you.
And
that puts Zoe in the lead now, guys.
Hey.
What are we gonna do? Save Mia? Save Zoe.
Speaking of saving, if you guys want to get on those incentives, I highly recommend them. But also, for those of you that like the DBZ reference with Kamehameha, there is one other move in this guy's move pool that will hopefully be showing off here today that I think will make some fans happy.
Also, real talk. What does Mia do in the game? She causes all the problems and she stabs you in the hand. Not cool. What does Zoe do? She saves your life. I don't know. I think Zoe's best girl.
Stoking the fires of the mid-war. I see.
I mean, to be fair, like it's not much competition.
All right, come on. Hi, Sarah. Go team Zoe and go team. Yeah. All right, let's see what we can do. Chit chat. There's the leg break. Okay, cool. That's that paw break we were talking about. And Hazel is right on top of it. Once again, let's go Hazel, putting down the hurt. That's the first of 2 scalp breaks. If you guys are fighting with this monster and you can't get his gear respawn, break his scalp. Don't bring poison if you're trying to farm for resources, but you can absolutely break his scalp and get a bunch more bonus damage. Also, we should be about win the fight down to below 40% to really burn this guy down. So we're starting to wrap up this fight here. Oop, ow. I will call when he is probably below about 10% health, and we'll just keep Tech informed at that point. For now, we still got fight to do, but we're starting to get close.
Yeah, time ends when this guy gets deaded.
I will try and predict for Tech. That is super risky if you're having casual playthrough. That is actually a safe zone. I don't know why it's safe. It shouldn't be, but it is. So, what can you do? Come on, hun.
We have another donation.
All right.
Thank you, Big Kuta, for your $2 donation. Hashtag Team Mia. That now puts Mia in the lead.
Ooh. Sorry, babe.
I died upon hearing blasphemy. Honestly, no. This game has a camera. It's a 3D game. So sometimes things are on the plane of the camera, so they don't exist. They're invisible, so you can see through them. And that laser beam was invisible.
It's a well-made video game.
I mean, I should have known it was there because it's the sweeping thing. I just discounted because counting's really hard.
All right, second phase. This usually signifies he's below about a quarter health at this point. He's starting to get desperate. He's starting to pull out all the stops. Staying down is incredibly important in this front. We talk about. I'm stunned. Oh god, I'm stunned. Okay, you got life powder, sweet. So she's healing me with life powders. I'm trying to stay down. I don't want to keep getting juggled. I'm gonna keep getting juggled. I'm staying knocked over so that second blast can't hit me. Welcome to phase 2. So much AoE, and also his eyes are now tracking the camera. It may look like he's looking at my hunter. He's not. He's looking at you. Hello, chat. Say hello to Shara. S-H-A-R-A if you want to say hi back. Hi, Shara. How's it going?
He kind of cute though. We all know that friend who's kind of into the crazy type.
That's fair. Second part of this phase is actually the longest part of the phase. He's going to have a lot of health to chew through still. He's got a lot of attacks. He's spamming AoE, getting desperate.
I'm out of powders.
I'm fine.
Sorry. Guys, we've just gotten a massive donation from your boy Strufen. $150. Thank you so much. Donation goes towards a pleasant Sunday drive through Sevastopol. I think I said that right.
Let's go. All right.
Thank you.
Every dollar counts, but shoutouts, man. Shoutouts. Oh god. Okay, that was a frame perfect roll. Roll was actually legitimately frame perfect. If I did not roll that, I was dead. Hazel putting down the hurt. Come on, Hazel. Don't fail me now, girl. 11 missed. I'm stunned. I'm okay. I'm fine. Maybe? Okay, we're good. Okay, this is if you guys are DBZ fans, I would normally Farcast for this. I'm not going to this time around because I wanted to show you this. You saw the Kamehameha earlier today, now we're going to see a Spirit Bomb.
One thing I love is that even if you Farcaster in the middle of a very dangerous life or death hunt, the hunter still has time to drink a, good sip of tea. Which, it's a good look to take. There's always time for self-care.
I'm okay. Dara is today. Last 10% here, chat. We're starting to tear him down. I'm going for this foot because the foot's still wounded, and that's going to be a lot of damage. I gotta get this Helmbreaker to land. Oh, he's moving. Another Kamehameha. Welcome to Monster Hunter. This game is bussing rad. Big damage flinch on that arm there. We're going to roll this next pressure on. I'm not to sharpen. I'm in blue sharpness. I can't afford. Yep, that's fine. Sharpen. This is Monster Hunter. If you haven't played this game before, it's amazing. I love it. It's a super good action game. Oh god. Help. Help. Go for that Helmbreaker onto that foot. Let's work. Alright, last few percent here. I actually have a tool to keep track of the percentage for the sake of tech. You're welcome. Gonna be on his last leg, so time will be any second now. Like, finish the charge. Last few hit points. Ooh. Ow. Oh, jeez. Don't kill me, sir. Like my existence. Alright, I'm just using my ancient potion here. I wouldn't remember this, but with the ancient potion. Damage to the can on the knockdown. Let's go. Time.
GG.
That is Monster Hunter World Iceborne. All required monsters. That actually was time. Sub 220. Take it.
GG. Well done.
As you guys can see, that run is a metric truckload of RNG. Whew, that was fun. That also means that, guess what, guys? Those of you that donated, like $200, crazy money. Tempered Ruiner, Nergigante, those of you that held out for that incentive, it's here. Thank you for sticking with this run. I got a couple shoutouts to do real quick. Do the shoutouts after Temper. I will likely be focus mode and bring commentary for that run. There's a lot going on. You're gonna have Tempered Ruiner happening. Tempered Ruiner is awesome. I promise. Tempered Ruiner is happening. I'll be going focus mode for that fight because it is a crazy fight. Those of you that made it to Tempered Ruiner, that donated for it, thank you. I'm going to all start of hunt. Let's do this set, yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to get ready for this hunt. I'm going to be running a more defensive version of this set because this monster that I'm fighting coming up is incredibly dangerous and incredibly risky. I could play a more aggressive set into him. In fact, I'll show you my usual set here. This is my usual set into him. It has no health skills, no nothing. It's pure damage. And that's not what we're going to run today. We're going to run more of a stable build. A little less aggressive into this boss fight. Before I begin this and post the quest... Okay, I'm going to go ahead and post the quest. Tempered Ruiner can 2-shot me. Straight up. He can 2-shot me or 3-shot me depending on the move I'm hit by. He's a tempered super boss version of one of the most infamous monsters in the game, Nergigante. It was me. I just chose a different set. This is a layered armor, so it looks like it's fashion. This is layered fashion armor, which is one of the best features of the game.
I have the bunny ears and the cat with the purple dress, or red dress.
Yes. So, two things to mention for this run. If you guys want to look into playing Monster Hunter with us, join us. Game's amazing. This is a super boss. I'm going to take a few seconds to collect my nerves because this is a super... I don't want to mess this up. Make sure I have the correct mantles and everything. Check. Yes, okay, we have Impact 30 and Impact Mantle. Gems are correct. I promise I'd show you my guild card. I did this. Was it wanted to see it? I think I play a lot of Longsword, 894 completed hunts. That's not counting any resets, that's just completed hunts. Whew. Okay. I'm gonna go mute while Rainy handles commentary, and run will begin in 3, 2, 1, Ruiner.
So, the course of the game takes place, or the course of Iceborne takes place over 24 levels of Master Rank. Every few hunts you do, you increase in Master Rank, letting you take on stronger and stronger monsters. To be able to fight Tempered Ruiner, or to be able to fight Ruiner Nergigante for the first time, you have to reach Master Rank level 100. So that's a solid 50-hour commitment just to face Ruiner Nergigante. Tempered Ruiner Nergigante hits harder, moves faster, and has more health than regular Ruiner Nergigante. So in this fight, it's very, very, very dangerous. He's very fast, very hard-hitting, and very hearty. However, Nergigante can't take a punch. It's pretty easy to knock him over, so it's all about tempo. It's all about getting those parries whenever he gets an attack out, landing good hits to knock him over, and dealing consistent damage. Biggest thing for Longsword is to be able to maintain a red bar. Landing your entire spirit combo or a perfect parry will allow you to use Round Slash, leveling up your spirit bar, and using Humbreaker will spend a level of spirit bar. So, the entire fight is about building those levels and spending them whenever you're able to get the most damage out of it. He's a very fast monster, as you can definitely see. But because of how big he is and how fast he moves, I don't want to say it's easy to get the parries, but there are plenty of opportunities to land them. And because of that, it is such a back and forth fight. It is always violent. It is always scary. It is a big, spiky dragon boy. I believe it's every 12% of its health, he will roar, launch into the air, and punch down. So anytime he does it multiple times in a row, that is because she is slamming through those damage phases, like getting a ton of damage down. And he's not happy about it. However, every time he lands from one of those, there's an opportunity to hit a Humbreaker out of it.
You know what? I forgot to switch out Allie out. So we're having to do backup strats here.
Usually you do this run without a Palico because it makes it easier because he's targeting you and it's more consistent to land those parries. While the cats are useful, again, they are not the most useful for elders because all they can do is either damage or buff. They can't do any status effects. Not really. And so, usually when she's practicing her time attacks, she leaves Allie at home. Otherwise, this is a very clean fight so far. Of course, you're gonna take some hits. You're gonna get hit by the fastest, strongest, scariest monster in the game, aside from Latron, but Latron's not that fast. So, this... I don't know, it's just sort of a spectacle to watch back and forth. The sort of thing that you just listen to in hype compilations with really cool music.
Allie is the biggest reason I don't bring Allie. Have enough men. Right, to my surprise, is that Nergigante likes to run. likes to roam a lot. Nergigante. But when you have a Palico, one of the locations you can row to is your Palico. You don't want that one trying to parry his attacks directly. That's a super tight positioning fix. I can't believe I nailed that. I've never hit that before. Where you're able to hide inside of one, like 6 pixel dead zone. I'm kidding. Get inside that zone and not.
Another big scary thing that Runer Nergigante can do is bleed you. His spikes will serrate your hunter and cause you to bleed. Bleed will, upon taking any like agility actions, rolling or dodging or parrying, you will take bleed damage. Generally, you are supposed to crouch down and just let the bleeding staunch itself, or you can use a fish scale to cure the bleeding, or you can just keep fighting. Her longsword has a health augment on it, which gives her a small amount of life leech. And her set also runs a skill called Peak Performance, which gives you 20 flat damage, which for scale, average damage is between 300 and 400 for a weapon, so that's a pretty decent increase just for being able to, just for maintaining your health.
Ugh.
He is a scary monster.
So that combo is actually true. You know what? Does anyone mind if I try that again without the Palico? Is that alright with everybody? Without the Palico? Do you want me to finish it? Because he's almost dead.
You should probably finish it just because it's another whole fight.
Let's finish it. I'm good. And backup strat. I have an ancient potion. Tells you how easy this to die, though he's almost dead. So, welcome to Nergigante.
It's such a volatile fight that this fight can take, anywhere from, for most average hunters, being able to take this thing down in the first place is a feat and a half.
He's actually in enraged tempo mode. The worst patterns like. That's rough. So, really how easy to die in this fight.
So, yeah, her runs usually range from almost like consistently below 6 minutes and pretty regularly hovering around 4 minutes and 10 seconds to 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
My average, about a 4. A pattern. He gave me zoomies with the Palico, and that was a brutal combination. On top of that, he's already Crystal Spine, which has a massive mitigation on a lot of parts. And he's using really fast attacks, which is really rough. Bad pattern. Like, that is a ridiculous counter pattern.
She has grinded this fight for hours. She's literally spent, a couple days on Twitch just grinding this fight, and sometimes he's just here to kill.
I would have reset this one, but the second Allie wasn't. But the marathon, I didn't. Fergie. Tempo. Alright, this is actually really good. That's actually full enrage. I was able to get a hit off on Wing Bash, which is really good. We're back in this. He's so many counters. The counter he does is actually a percentage chance on hit. He can do it very small percentage chance. Brutal. How are you not exhausted?
Nergi's showing up for the marathon trying to show off.
Come on, Nerg. Why you gotta play me like this? Allie has been hard throwing. I need to wound his fate. Bad. Skull, which means he's last 10%. That was a counter, by the way. Oh my god, don't you try to hurt me.
And this is why we had,
This is why I don't run Palicos. If you run Palicos in this hunt, you're a braver soul than I. Alright. Run it back without the Palicos. If that's okay with... Is that okay with Nico? Are we good? Do I have time to run it back in 5 minutes without the Palico? Allie, I love you, sweetheart. I need you to not. Right? I can get you when we're done. Totally screw the patterns over again.
I hate to say Allie is jealous of Hazel, but Hazel is just obviously best cat.
Alright.
Very important detail I never point out during the run is that the weapon that Hazel wields, aside from, you know, her fireworks, is a book. She just beats up monsters. Did you eat? You mind him? Yeah. All right. Give it another shot in 3, 2, 1, go. Again, it's a very, very fast-paced, very high-tempo run. She spent hours, multiple days in the past month of just streaming for about 6 hours a day, just killing this thing over and over again, resetting every time she gets a bad pattern, and just getting right back into it. The thing is, like, with how erratic this monster is, the number of resets is just so high that she's killed this thing, I think, around 170 times. And that's like maybe representative of 5% of the hunts she's gone on against it. It is, to say crazy is pretty accurate. It's just, it's a scary monster in a game about scary monsters. Another skill that's very important for this run specifically is Agitator. We never talked about it with the wall bonks before, but a monster essentially will enrage after being spun around 3 times or spun and shot individually twice. When enraged, it'll proc a skill called Agitator, which increases damage by a flat amount, as well as increases crit chance. As she said earlier, Master's Touch helps maintain your sharpness. Anytime you get a crit, that hit does not spend the sharpness of the weapon. So maintaining that is one of the most important things for this run, because sharpness is just a multiplier. It's not flat damage, it is a multiplier to the amount of damage that each hit does. So staying in the maximum amount of sharpness will make those Tonebreakers do, I think it's like 7% more, but when each hit is doing 200 damage, that's 14 times 7, which is really hard. 98 damage. It is an angry, scary, spiky boy. But it is a hell of a spectacle at the very least. Something to watch. Longsword itself is already a high tempo weapon. Not only do you, like, doing well helps you to deal more damage, which sounds obvious, but like the better you do, the higher your gauge stays. So when you're punished, you also miss out not only on taking the damage, but you also miss out on increasing the amount of damage you deal by increasing that gauge. Another skill, Weakness Exploiter, increases the amount or critical hit chance whenever a weak spot on a monster, generally the face or any weak zones on the monster's body, your crit chance will increase upon hitting those, and upon wounding those and then hitting them, you'll increase your crit chance further. So again, it's all about, you know, optimizing your crit chance, landing as many hits on the head as possible, using the Frostwing Barioth skill, which is every time she draws her weapon, it does KO. utilizing that with hits on the head to get an additional K or two in the hunt will just save so much time, because anytime the monster can't do damage, it's time that she can focus on only doing damage. No dodging, no parrying, just hitting the monster. There's a lot of times that the hitboxes for certain things will look one way and they'll just go the other. And when you fight the same monster, 1,000 different times, you start to notice exactly when it's going to go awry, where it's going to go awry. You just become so familiar with something that every little mistake that you make and every little mistake that the monster makes is just so obvious to you. Some of these helm breaks are just so satisfying. I'm not a longsword player. I'm not, as she would put it, I'm not a weeb. So I don't feel the longsword spirit parries in my soul. I just watch big sword go swoosh swoosh, and it's something else to watch. That was a hell of a finisher.
That was not a bad Nergi. On the run back, we had a 5:30. Lower than my average, but for a marathon run, when I'm rattled in front of 100 people,
Yeah, no pressure or anything.
I'll take it. That if you want yourself. I don't want to 5:30 time. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm crying, but I literally did, and I counted, over 1,000 attempts at that run to get this marathon. And I was so scared. I joke. To run it back and get it. Feels I want to swear. You know what word I want to put there? You can.
Really cool.
The reason we timed these runs, RTA was a 5:30 timer, and if I may, briefly, I don't know if we have time for a moment or two of talk. I am proof. Dedication, something, no matter what it is, get you skilled to the point where you do something incredible. I'm not different from you. I'm just a regular old chick who loves video. Put the time in, dedication, you can do this too. Thank you, Thunderthon, for having us. Amazing run. I never thought in a million years I'd run Monster Hunter at a marathon. Like, it was a running joke in my friends that I'd never get there, and here I am here. With my wife of all things, like with my partner. How crazy is that, right? So, shoutouts to all my friends. Shoutouts to Chad for the opportunity to do this. Foxy. Everyone in chat who donated, you know who you are. You're amazing. Pick up this game. Find Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/FrejasFeather. Find me there. I got Discord. I'm down to clown.
Come say hi, hunt some monsters, make some friends.
We have an amazing community. We have an astonishing community. It's incredible. You guys have the next run coming up soon. I hope to see the support continue for that run because you're amazing, and what can I say? It's amazing. I don't have words. I can't express the English language how happy I am. And glad to hear it, Echo. And one final thing, one shout out last shout out. Not just the marathon cats. The 2 faithful cats that brought us through that run. Allie and Hazel. Shout outs to everyone supported me along the way. Thank you for watching. This is Monster Hunter World Iceborne, including Tempered, Ruin, and Nergigante. Second try. Cheers.
Good game.